Where's our video? Hey, everybody. You have just tuned in to Where is the Love? I was waiting for our intro video. We are live here. Where is the Love? This is our show. I am your host. I am Stephne Hockenhull. Joining me is my co-host, Gene Williams.
Hey, what it do, beautiful people? Hey, Mom.
Hey, son, let's get it on.
Let's go.
Let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly.
What? Hold on. All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our show. You know, we got a clown. That's what we do. That's how we roll. That's what's up with us. We talk about a serious subject, bullying. Bullying is all about controlling others, but we still make it fun. We give you the education because we've experienced bullying and we've experienced torment. We have learned to relax and be at peace with ourselves and at peace with others, no matter how bad they treat us. So we have on our last show, we had a guest, Eliza Carter. She is a master breathologist, and we talked about breathing, taking breaths, and how important it is to breathe through stress. You want to add anything, son?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about conscious breathing, because if you really think about it, like in our culture, we do not take deep conscious breaths often. We breathe very shallow, which causes stress, to be honest. So I'm excited to get to part two. I mean, you know, to hear some of the techniques and just talk more about consciously controlling your reality is going to be a beautiful thing. I'm excited.
Yes, I am excited too. So, with no further ado, we have asked Eliza Carter to come back, the master breathologist, and here she is. Bring on Eliza, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to see both of you. How are you this evening, this day, this morning, whenever you see this video?
There we go. All of it. Doing great. How are you?
I am well. I'm grateful to be well. Yes.
We are wonderful and excited to have you back. Thank you for coming back.
Absolutely. You know, I love to hang out with you both. We share and we touch the heart of people because so many of us are really hurting. We have this mask up. You know what I mean? We wore the mask, but we've not taken it off fully. And I want to talk about that today.
Let's get started.
It was Shakespeare who said that once you wear the mask for so long, that it becomes you. You know.
Wow.
So, yeah, exactly. It becomes you. You fake so much. It's just like the fake it till you make it. It's because you put yourself in the mind frame of that energy, energy template that you're trying to put forward, and then you do it over and over again. So because you do it over and over again, it becomes a habit, and habits become characteristics, which becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah. So Eliza, take it away. Let's talk about this breathing. Let's talk about de-stressing.
The mask, all of it.
Yeah. Yes. I want to open up and say this. Our breath is our divine connection to the Almighty because He breathed the breath of life and spirit into us. So every time we take a moment to pause and take a deep breath, guess what? You're acknowledging Him. You're experiencing a higher level of peace and harmony. And guess what? If you stay long enough, you'll get some answers to your questions.
There you go.
Your creative ideas will begin to soar, and you'll find yourself disconnected from the outside forces and tapping in. Force.
Say that.
That is right here to support you anytime and anywhere. So if you have not learned the power of deep breathing, conscious breathing, mindful exercises when it comes to breath, to exhale and inhale, then you're living in a fog. You're still covered up with the mask. And we want to unmask today. We want to let the mask be away from us today because when we got forced into a traumatization of called the pandemic. What did it do to us?
Yeah.
You know, onslaughts of it everywhere we go.
Yep.
People are falling apart at higher levels than ever before. Why? Because we don't have any life coping skills.
Yep.
We don't have a practice that we can put in place that we enjoy. And then when something shows up, we know how to shift quickly out of it because we've been doing the practice and we're welcoming the presence of God to be our infinite support.
Amen.
When you really understand that God is with us every single step of the way.
Yes.
We've been alienated from him because of these masks. Now, this is what's so deep. As I've been doing some deeper research in the process of finishing a book that I had put 3 dates on to release. And every time I go to release it, there's something new that shows up that I'm processing through in my own personal life with my own clients and my own family. And I'm like, Lord, I should be so embarrassed by now, but I'm done with shame and embarrassment because this is what I know. When this book comes out, it is going to teach us how we have been so far from the places we wanted to be in the moments that we can create that peaceful space. We can create that space where we feel so interconnected that whatever is showing up that we don't like, that we don't want, what is overwhelming us, we can push it out. We can exhale it. We can let it go because we now have a new skill set, a new life skill, a new self-therapeutic opportunity. What? To let the body and the mind come together on one accord and let your spirit speak. Let your spirit speak. And that's where we are today. We have to allow to understand that when we put the mask on, what happened? It stopped the flow of breath, right? So the carbon dioxide and the acidosis is sitting up here right now. What does that do to the body? It deteriorates the organs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's deteriorating our organs even now because some of us are still putting on a mask. We still have not gotten back to the level of cycling of breath once we had, because we're still dealing with the trauma. It's in the blood, it's in the organs, it's in the psyche, it's in the subconscious, in the conscious. It's all in us.
Cell memory.
It shows up anytime it wants to. Why? Because you've not understood the power of your breath, that it's your divine connection to release, let go, and flow. Release, let go, and flow.
Oh, there we go.
No,
I love that.
I'm still watching people put the mask on. And I know we're still terrorized because now we got what? And we talked about this last time. Another disease coming in. This is the real key I want to bring up is that COVID is not over. People are still getting majorly sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you feel as though the shot gave you something, because it gave you something. I ain't going if you didn't take the shot. Because there's so many conflicts. You know what I mean? When you do the research, you find that we've been lied to. We've been bamboozled. But this is the thing. It is so serious right now because the long-term effects of carbon dioxide and acidosis staying at high levels in the body is going to start what? Deteriorating the mind.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
And because we're spending 8 and 10 hours a day on the internet, you know what I mean? We're not putting God in all of that.
Yeah.
God is simply us in the earth being connected to the one who created us.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not separate from us. If you look at the law of oneness, everything is interconnected.
Right.
If you look at the law of rhythm, there's a rhythm that's been broken. If you think about your circulatory system of your heart, right? All the that are connected to that, what happened during the pandemic is that all of that got discombobulated. And if you think it's still working now, it's not. It's worse than ever before. And so we have got to take serious that we're in a place now where you have got to gain some new skill sets. And when I say skill sets, I'm talking about being able to tap into your inner peace core, being able to create that space of self-harmony. Because all of us got somebody that gets on our nerves, right? But it's deeper than that. A lot of times we're going to bed. We don't do no cleansing before we go to bed to see, what I went through the day, reflection of the day, and how do I get out of this space and how do I make peace with myself before I go to sleep. He said, don't let your sun go down on your wrath. We always think that's about somebody else.
Right.
But what inner conflicts, what the negative talks you had to yourself all day long, some of the inner dialogue that continues to keep you stuck in certain places. You may be thriving over here, You might even be a 5, 6, 7, 8 figure earner. However, over here, the depression you hide because of what? The mask.
Yeah.
So the mask is being taken off right now, but it's only physically taken off. It's still covering us subconsciously.
Yes.
So we've got a serious amount of work to do, and it didn't come overnight. So I tell people, when you come into my course studies, expect to stay at least 6 months. Because when you grasp the skill and you can start waking up and knowing what tool to pull out of your toolkit, when you can wake up in the morning, you say, you know what? I know how to shift. And you don't have to stay in that mindset, in that feeling. And you can really tap into feeling that God is supporting you and that he knows longer the pie in the sky. You know what I mean? He's literally right here in your heart.
Right. Even so they say low here, low there, for the kingdom of God is within.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. You know, I have to share this. On the last show, I was doing the show, but I was not feeling well at all. And I went to the emergency room the next day. And it was because my blood pressure was high and I was feeling nauseated, and I just wasn't feeling well. And so I listened to you talking about breathing and listening, us talking about updating our listening skills, and how important it is in communication to not only communicate, or transmit, but to receive. And so I learned from that moment. So today is 2 weeks ago when I went to the emergency room. And when I went to the emergency room the next day, I was like, okay, so my job don't get to they don't get to be graced with my presence tomorrow because they on punishment. They didn't treat me right. I'm staying home and get my mind right.
Right.
So I stayed home. I bought your book, Eliza, and I started reading that book. I started shifting my mind. I woke up that morning between 3:30 and 4, which I did for the last 2 weeks. And I would sit there and I would write. I would ask a question, I would write, and then I would write what I heard. And the conversation was so wonderful. And also, when I went back to work, and in these last 2 weeks, when I start feeling myself getting upset or bothered by something somebody said or did, I find myself breathing, taking breaths. And I'm like, this is what I needed
There you go.
all along.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. I mean, I learned that from my conversation. And so the thing about learning from conversations is not just hearing, but we talked about doing the work. So I've been doing the work to get myself right, to change my mindset, and to become say it again.
To own your power.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I wanted to share that. I mean, breathing is so valuable, taking breaths, because, not just with the mask, and it cutting off the oxygen, cutting off oxygen, taking shallow breaths, and not, taking in, what's happening. And okay, this is, I need to breathe.
Right.
So I've been focused more on breathing in the last 2 weeks, and focusing on my breathing. What is my breathing doing? What is my mind doing? Okay, y'all, come on, y'all got to line up. Let's do this together. Let's work.
Because it's breath work, flow, and then it's second nature. That's what it is.
Yeah. So I love it. I love the fact that we loop back around to what I was going to say after Eliza said what she said. When you take shallow breaths, and also when you have a abundance of carbon dioxide in the body, it actually restricts the ability of the brain to make new neural synapses, neural connections.
That's right.
And when you're able to breathe through stressful situations, you will learn a new skill, and it creates new neural connections in the brain.
Because other than that, you're misfiring, and we don't even realize that. You know what I mean? When you're not doing the breath exercises, first, because you're learning it as a practice, and you're being patient with yourself to enjoy it.
Right.
I realize this, even with you working out, when you go to work out, you really enjoy it, but you still come back and do yoga. Because you know, when you create that safe heaven of space, it feels so electrifying. It feels so calming. It feels like nothing in the world, no situation, no thought, no past thought, no present thought, no future concerns are even present.
Right.
You are in a space where nothing else matters but that moment.
Yep.
That's where the body has a chance to
Yeah.
what? Reset, recharge, rejuvenate, and feel like once again you are supported by the Almighty who is speaking.
Yeah.
And say, are you listening? And you're not listening like, God, I need an answer to something. No, you're like, Lord, why you sit to do that? Wow, it felt like that. I mean, it's like, it's feelings that I can't even put into words, because I know this, when I have not made time to do it, I can be irritable. You know what I mean? I can be short patient. And I don't like myself when I'm like that, because I know my heart is racing back and forth. And I spent all of these years to preserve myself, you know? And I realize this with a lot of clients that I have and I've had over the years. I say to them, don't ever stop what you learn. Because this is the thing, it will continue to expand and go into something where now you have your own rhythm. You know what I mean? And when you have your own rhythm and flow, you're like, you know what? I don't have to fit in. I add to. You know what I mean? I bring.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not the majority. And when I connect with you, we're the majority now. You know what I mean? So there's no competition. You know what I mean? There's just synergy that comes together and say, you know what? We're operating in love. And we're operating in a higher level of ourselves, because when you make it a practice, what? You get to see more of the beauty of yourself. And when you're patient and kind with yourself, it's easy to be patient and kind with others. But if you're not that way with yourself, then once again, the mask is on. I'm looking at the question that Mark just said. He said, is it true that some people wear multiple masks?
Oh, yeah.
A mask for their loved ones, a mask for work, and a mask for their school. And some people even wear a mask in church. And we've heard that for how many years?
Yeah.
Right.
How many generations?
Yeah.
We come in with these smiles, but inside we're hurting. We can't trust nobody. We don't have what our professional support system and our personal support system, because we don't even know how to create it.
Yeah.
We've been hurt over and over again. Like, who do I trust? Listen, when you learn breath work to get into the flow, to get into the habit of that inner calmness and peace, then you're not looking for someone to always help you.
Yeah.
But when you connect with other people, you're like, wow, we come together and I feel whole. Because most of us feel so fragmented and don't even know what it feels like to feel whole and complete. And even though next minute you feel whole, next minute you feel fragmented, but you have a skill set now. You have a rhythm, a flow, a oneness to take you to that next space so that you can cultivate that level of peace and harmony and those good feelings and those calm feelings, and feeling once again like, you know what? I'm at a peace that I long for. I did something today. I was in the mall and I had not ever seen these many couples holding hands walking through the mall.
Oh, wow.
And I thought about some of my clients who've never been married or never experienced closeness. And I'm like, if they could just see what is possible, even though that's just a fragment of a piece of it, but just the fact that I seen at least 7 couples in a matter of 20 minutes. And I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked because I wasn't looking for it. You know what I mean? But when I saw it, I was like, wow, you know, part of what happened in the pandemic, we were supposed to get closer to ourselves.
Right.
We're supposed to know that our soul is our mind, our will, and our emotions, and that we have harmony with that. We can hear the spirit of the living God. We can actually rest in the moment and feel like I ain't got to work, because a lot of the answers that we get come in the quiet time.
Yeah.
The more we make quiet time, the harder we work. Exactly. And I've learned that more and more now than ever. So I know, once again, if I don't get in that peaceful space because something shows up, that's why in the morning I can't answer my phone. I can't go and look at it. It's on the other side of the room. You know what I mean? I know that even when I get home right now, my phone is sitting here because I needed it to sit here, but it was in my pocket for the longest time. I was like, what if somebody calls me and rings during this time? I got to go get my phone. But it wasn't because I felt like I needed to bring it out. You know what I mean? At that moment, I'm learning to disconnect from those things that disrupt my rhythm, that disrupt my flow, that enter into my peaceful core. When I know before bed, I don't need no technology. You don't need no technology. You need your thoughts. You need to reflect. You need to give thanks. We have so much to give thanks for. We have so much to be thankful for. We have so much to be grateful for. And a lot of times, just something simple. I thank you that my finger moves. You know what I mean? We think it's all this deep stuff because I got money in it. Yeah, that stuff comes and that stuff actually is there, wherever you find yourself at. But when you can say, I thank you that my teeth is all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a little gap, but it's okay. You know what I mean? I thank you that I can see, that I can feel, that I have a bed to lay in. You know what? And those are the simplest things, but those are things that we really need, the basics of life. And I have people that actually love me and care for me, and I actually love and care for them. Those are the things that keep us afloat, because what happened during the pandemic too, a lot of people became millionaires. And when they were called to come and start speaking publicly, they didn't have the skill set because they could show up on social media like, I'm this. But when they got to show up publicly, they didn't have the confidence because they had not done the inner work to get to that space. They could get to that space. That's why we always have some place to improve upon.
Right.
Some place to embrace, feel good about. Because if nothing else, we should feel good about the fact that we woke up this morning. Because so many people did not. Recently, someone called me with someone that committed suicide, and I said, my heart hurt. And my friend said, why did your heart hurt? Once again, because I keep hearing it, and I know we can't save the world. But if somebody that was connected, that person has some of the skill sets that we have, had read some of the books that we produced, or had made contact with us, because sometimes after you've read the book, you still need to get connected some more.
Yeah.
There's another level of understanding to come to light. And so it's not opening up your light, and your light is shining brighter in your mind, it's shining brighter in your heart, it's shining brighter in your pathway. And you find yourself breaking cycles, breaking habits, because you replace this one habit with breath work to get into breath flow, to become your first habit. To say, it feels so good to feel good.
Love it.
I like that too. I've learned to, in the last couple of weeks, a few things have changed for me. Getting in the bed, I was getting in the bed with my phone, and I learned to just get in the bed and lay there and reflect, on the day. And then if I have to have something, I started reading again. So, and I started reading the book about Anna, the prophetess Anna. And so, I'm like, I have got to go to sleep with something better than this doggone phone, so what am I putting in my mind when I go to sleep? And so that's been great, because that's something I used to do a lot of anyway before the phones, was lay in bed and read. But before I start reading, I just lay there and think about and reflect on the day and what happened throughout the day. And so it's just been so wonderful for me to be able to do that. I mean, I see a few life changes, as a result of that ER visit. That is not going to be a thing. So, okay, I better shift my mind.
And you're behind.
Huh?
And you're behind.
Both of them.
Hilarious.
So Mark said one of the richest men in the world said he spends most of his time being miserable. Yes, Elon Musk said that.
And so it's not about the money. Even though we need money, money answers a lot of things, but it does not answer the most important things when it comes to the mental health. It answers all the physical aspects of stuff you can give, you can have, you have the basic needs, and you have more than enough. However, if you don't have that love for yourself on the inside, and this is what I want to say about before you go to bed. You think about, sometimes you got to say, I forgive myself for something I held against myself today. Let me tell you, I will do that in a heartbeat. Sometimes when my husband and I have some interactions, and I be like, oh, okay, Liza, that might have been a little tough. You know what I mean? Or I felt like he said something really tough, and I'm like, wow, recognize you didn't make enough time to do this. I'm like, really? Because I didn't want to. But it's not something you can always say, because I need the time. And this is the thing. And so it's like, when you realize how valuable it is to take better care of your mind, because if you take care of your mind will take care of you, because you can hear your spirit helping to guide you. But if you're not taking care of your mind, then you're reacting and responding to the things that people say. Sometimes it seems a little tough, it seems a little hard, and maybe it is, but you don't have to internalize it.
Yeah.
You know, if I had a rough time, and I think sometimes I was hard on my son, I'll come and say, honey, you know, I really love you. But I had to give it to you like I saw it. You know what I mean? And I never meant it any other way than just say, how can we shift to get to this new space? Yeah. And I'm not trying to force you. I'm just trying to say there's a habit I see brewing that I think that you could kind of make a shift with. And, you know, because now he's one of the breathologists that I'm training. And he's actually taken it to his own level. So he's excited, you know. But there's other things, you know. I tell him, I says, did you see your budget this week? I said, we was checking budgets. You spent all that money on phone? What? You know what I mean? He's like, wow. I said, but you got to realize this, you're not getting healthy food. So I don't care how much you're doing a breath work. It's working to a degree. Absolutely. Because it's your spirit being fed to the point where your soul understands what it means. You know what I mean? So you have a conscience about it. But the other food is coming in and it's creating toxins in the body.
Right.
You think it's not working in other areas because we need 20% more oxygen in the middle just to be able to process through the day. And if we're not doing certain practices, you know what I mean? We start in the morning. But this is, I want to say this, I say this every time I talk. At night, God seals instructions within us. So when you do breath work, you make room to hear him. There are dreams that can give you answers that can explode your business or your career or bring peace to a relationship or just simply comfort your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's designed to do that.
Right. Yeah, I want to say so going along with what you're saying, like I think great practice before bed is to journal first, so you can take inventory for your day, and then after the journaling, you go right to meditation, so that your mind and your body are at peace, so that when you go to sleep, you can be present for those answers that the Most High gives to you in your sleep time.
I love to feel good before I go to sleep because I can think about all times I felt miserable, neglected, neglected. All these things I used to come to my mind because things wasn't working the way I think they should work. And when I come to bed and I make peace with myself, it is the sweetest sleeps. You know what I mean? And when you wake up in the morning, you're not carrying the day before.
Exactly. There you go.
Actually, and this is it really helps you. You've been traumatized highly. Say, we've seen a lot of killing in our community. Whether it's it's the black on black crimes, or it's the racial systemic system. You know what I mean? People walking around dead because they're so distressed and and overwhelmed with life and don't have any practices. And but when you make peace with yourself at night, there's a settling that comes. It's like I'm opening my light to say, Lord, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to show me, however you want to speak, I am here to listen. It's so comforting. I mean, to be constantly comfort, that's the healing of the soul.
Yes.
And I teach that specifically in one of the techniques that I have. I teach also tapping in different parts of the body to release the pressure in those particular parts of the body. And I was sitting at this organization doing the other day, and a little girl came over to me. She's like, "What you doing?" And I was right here at the time. She says, "Can I do that?" I said, "You got to do it lightly." I said, because you can feel the tingling sensation. And it's releasing stuff right here to open up your headspace. There's so many tools I've learned. I say to her, I says, well, open your light, open your light, open your light. And she thought this was so much fun. Open your light, open your light, open your light. She was like, oh my gosh. I says, listen, there is more light to shine inside of you. And it gets rid of some of the dark, deep secrets that you ain't never told nobody. It was like, oh, she's a teenager. So she was like, oh my God. I said, I declare that when you go back to do your writing and to do your artwork, it's going to explode. She came in the other day. She's like, oh my gosh. I was like, you need to coach my daughter. I said, honey, I teach you how to coach you. I said, I think that if I'm a coach her, you need to come in so that there's harmony.
Yes.
Oneness. Then you can spread it into the family. Yeah. And now we're effective to have community. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? And that's where I'm at right now. If I'm coming to do one person, that's coming together. because you know the children will keep you on track in ways, you know what I mean? Because do certain things, they enjoy it. And I believe that we do not enjoy taking care of ourselves. That's why we've not made it a priority. Yeah. When you learn to enjoy it, it becomes like when you don't do it, you're like, oh my gosh, let me stop for a second. I will pull over. A lady called me with some real off the chain news the other day, and it hit my heart. And I'm like, Lord, I'm being an empath. Pull over, get it out, get it out. I did, you know, it was a safe space that I pulled over to. I made sure that it was really a safe space that I pulled into a parking lot. It's not on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I said, I'm carrying her burden, and I got to let it go. And I just begin to go into a special kind of breath. You know what I mean? And so I can feel the light of you. Oh, releasing. I could feel like a tidal wave of light coming around. I was like, Lord, now you're showing up fast. Yeah. And it is instant. When it's a practice, it becomes instant. And you keep getting out of stuff. Well, you find yourself no longer feeling bound by certain thoughts, feelings, conversations, and interactions with yourself and with others, and especially with the Almighty.
Yes. Love it. Ooh, we.
You know, we got to keep tapping into our joy. He said, when he says the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Yes.
What does that really mean for you? You know what I mean? The joy of the Lord is my strength. When we're happy, there is nothing that can stop us. When we're sad, we're trying to figure stuff out too much. We weren't made to figure out all this stuff. We were made to get answers that are divinely brought to us. You know what I mean? Because when it's divinely brought to us and you take action, there's a divine result.
Inspired.
You know? Yes.
Hey, LaRonda, thank you for being on our show. I see your comments. Thank you for joining our show. Listen, this breath work and just taking breaths and just breathing is so important and so valuable. And I didn't realize how valuable and how important it is until we did the first show. And in the last 2 weeks, like I said earlier, I have learned so much about my life has changed because I think about what's happening. And when you said so much is going so fast in my mind, but when you said about waking up, you know, making peace with yourself before you go to sleep, one thing I cannot stand, and this is what got my attention on the ER thing, is waking up with that person on my mind. You are not the person I want to be on my mind when I wake up. That got my attention. I was like, no. This will not be a thought that I will be waking up with in the morning. Yeah. And so that is what really helped me and got my attention on, listen, this is where you at. Is this what you want? No, I don't want no woman or no man, you know, waking up. I don't want them on my mind and the things they said and the things they did. So say that again.
Like a tormenting spirit, you know what I mean?
And that's exactly what it was. And that's why it's been so important to me and so good to me to be able to just lay there, reflect on the day, and then to, you know, to do something different at night. So, you know, reading has helped me, and it's what I'm reading. You know, like I said, reading about the prophetess Anna, you know, so what are you doing to make things different? You know, if you want to see something different, you got to do something different. And if you keep doing this, say that again.
Taking personal responsibility for your life in the trajectory of your life.
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm so glad. I mean, I watched that show that we did last week. I watched that show 3 times. Wow. I just couldn't get enough.
That is
awesome. And every time I watched it, I got something different. And you know that's how things work. But it's because I'm doing the work to get to a different place in my mind and to stay there, you know, to you know, to increase. And so it's just been so wonderful to me.
That's awesome, because after a while it's not work.
Yeah.
It's slow.
Habit.
I found about my husband. When I start tapping on his body, I can hear the moans and the groans. I tell ladies, you better learn how to handle your man. And I'm still learning because we haven't been married that long, but I've learned that, men are physical. You know what I mean? Some women say, oh, girl, I ain't got to have that much sex. Listen, you better learn how to stimulate some intimacy.
Hello.
Create the kind of atmosphere that makes you want it like he wanted, because you can shift and get into that. I've had couples that done specific breath combinations, and they're like, Eliza, I would have never thought that this would stop us from arguing like we did, that this would bring such a level of peace. And I realized with my husband, I had to learn this. I wanted a lot more time by myself, but not realizing he needed a lot more time with me. So when I started tapping on his body, and because he wouldn't do the breath work at first, he was like, okay, Eliza, we'll do it. I said, oh, you're not even doing it like I like it. And I had to realize this, that's not really my position. My position is to present it. However he uses it is up to him. You know what I mean? Because he knows how calm I am most of the time. You know what I mean? And I realize this, I ain't got no business trying to control something. You know what I mean? Because I got all these other people that want to do it. I can't be trying to counsel him and coach him. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can't do that with your family. Yeah. You just have to be the example of peace. And we know that the woman's supposed to set the peace in the house, because when she's disrupted, cut up, the whole atmosphere is in disarray. You know what I mean? You can come in and say, before I get in the house tonight, I'm going to take some breaths so I'm calm, as we say, cool and collected.
Right.
Get some feelings on my mind. I'm going to forgive whatever was said, done the last couple of days that keep showing up in my psyche, trying to create this dynamic of disconnect. And I'm going to bring myself into harmony. And I'll bring myself into peace and calmness. So when I show up, I bring the force of that into the house. So everything else has the what? Hit it and it's got the drop. But if you come in angry, all it does is it morphs. It expands. You know what I mean? And we know we've done this enough times in our lives. You know what I mean? To experience that you don't want those feelings consistently, because we don't know. And I always say, we don't know the time clock of anybody. People are having more heart attacks at younger ages. And I say this over and over again, because I know I got off of the high blood pressure medication. And the strokes, the dementia, because this is what we always seen this lately. What would you say to your younger self? I want to say to people right now, what would you say to yourself 5 years from now if you've not developed a practice to bring your body into peace and harmony and feel the presence of God supporting you? Where will you see yourself in the next 5 years? We can skip to next year, because we don't know what's going to come down the pipe next year. Yeah. The money system is changing. The banks are getting more aggressive. You know what I mean? They're saying the cash is going to stop. Cash ain't going to stop as quick as they say it's going to stop. You know what I mean? And we're developing our own systems, you know what I mean, to start a circular program. I have a brother that I'm doing an event on Wednesday night at 6:30. He's showing you how to make 5 figures by the end of the year with passive income. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've already joined and begin to gain. So I understand that we can no longer work. We've got to get into the new systems. That de-stresses us. Yeah. It's an opportunity to say, you know what? I don't have to be controlled by the job. You know what I mean? Or even by my business. I have multiple streams of income, because we're supposed to have them for many more reasons, because it brings peace and harmony. Yeah. It allows you to do more for yourself and for other people. Right. So there's so many things we have to look at in the different components of our lives. You know what I mean? And how am I feeding my spiritual well? Am I showing up half full, or overflowing? You know what I mean? And how often do I let myself get depleted and then it takes too long to get up? Yeah. I was event just this week, and all of the 6-figure women, 7-figure women had therapists. And I was like, because even though my marriage is working good, my business is going well, I still got some bees going on in my head. I still got some stuff that I experienced. Yep. I just got on the phone with a pastor who told me she spent a month in Canada, and they had to shut down a whole city because the incest that was going on in the family. Wow. She said it was like Sodom and Gomorrah. I was like, whoa. She says, and the kids were coming out retarded. Man. And I said, this is stuff we don't even think about. Mm-hmm. And when I find myself in my prayers constantly, I'm sending out the light to the world, the light of love, the light of truth, the light of God to really shine in our hearts, to bring us people. And I see the people on the street begging for money. I said, Lord, I declare that their mind would come back to you, and they can feel your presence even in this moment. Yeah. I don't say God bless you. What does that mean? You got to be specific when you're blessing people. Mm-hmm. Because your words have what? Power. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
all the
travel
time.
intergalactically, just like your breath. Your breath goes all around it. It connects with the angels and it connects with people's hearts. You know what I mean? There's so much that we can do when we make it a practice to say, you know what, God, I'm coming to you. I'm not going to run and tell this person all this stuff, even though we still got a natural side. We still need to stay connected and talk about stuff. But once we build up that inner relationship, it spreads out more and more and more and more and more. So we get to control some things in the atmosphere. I got an email this morning after I sent out my email. And I got to make sure I get you guys on my newsletter. And a guy sends me an email and says, Eliza, I need you to look at this. I'm like, I ain't got time to be looking like this. No, I don't need to be in there. Because I was not my flow. You know what I mean? He called me and says, I need to listen to this. So when I looked at it, and to be straight frank, it said, Chevron said, F you. They don't care about taking fossil fuel out of the different continents because they need it. And they don't care what it does to the atmosphere because it's all about the money.
Yeah.
And I said, so we got to begin to say that towards allowing anything to disrupt our peace. It's time to get off of these medications. You know what I mean? It's time to go completely holistic and feeling our bodies heal itself because we're intentional to know. And that's why I have the course, Breathe into My Soul. Breathe into my soul so I understand that I don't have no more excuses not to take better care of my mind and my body.
Yeah.
Let my spirit speak life, health, prosperous thoughts, crazy over the top opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just time to soar because whenever you know the people in the Bible as a reference were having hard times, there was always a place the Lord elevated.
Yeah.
So it's elevation time. It's time to elevate our thoughts and even our emotions. We're no longer holding on to the old stuff. And I'm not saying stuff that's happened is not bad. It was, I mean, I can't even imagine slavery. Every time I used to think about it, I was ready to fight. And I'm not really a fighter, but I'm like, I'm ready to fight. You know what I mean? And sometimes I still see, I'm like, Lord. And when that comes inside of me, because that's the human side, I have to go back and let it go and say, Lord, you know what I mean? I began to send out love and support to those people. Because that's all I have to do. People say, I don't know what to do. Send your word, send your power, send your agreement.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Break up that fallow ground. You know what I mean? Come on, let's work this thing together because together, listen, we win. We can't be separate no more. Together, we are coming together. So I'm going to do a sisterhood group coming the first of the year because I've been asked to. And you know, I don't want to leave the men out, but there's certain things that women need to talk about and be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and we are a sister's keeper. And there's certain things that, you know, you ain't got no business telling your husband or your man, your son or your daughter. You know what I mean? Not that she's in the group. There's certain things that we need to deal with on our own and come together in a safe space to recognize that, you know what, together, there's a sweet peace that comes.
Yeah.
And you never know who's around you that needs what you have. Because it's not, I may be facilitating the group, but everybody gets to spend time saying and speaking. You know what I mean?
Everybody's the teacher.
Exactly.
And everybody's a student at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Words do have power.
They do.
Eliza.
She said, we owe our bodies apologies. Oh,
yes.
Oh, I like that.
Do you, I want y'all to sing, and I want you to show us some breath work. So would you, I mean, I don't know how this feels to you, but I think if you do some breath work and then Gene sings, or would you rather he sing and then you do the breath work?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, ain't no wait a minute.
No, she's supposed to sing. She's supposed to sing.
She is going to sing. But I want her to do some breath work. So
we can do the breath work if you want to, and to set the atmosphere a little bit more. You know what I mean?
That's how I was thinking.
And this is a breath called the ah breath. And this ah breath, when you're angry, immediately the pressure goes to the liver.
Ooh.
And so it messes with your digestive system. It messes with your ability to have a thought of what's a good result versus how can I fight through this? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when we're angry, our senses are dumbed down. We think that we're in a heightened level. We are on one aspect, but if it's the same thing that really triggers you off and makes you want to cuss somebody out, and then you find yourself having to put yourself back together, that's the time to learn how to pause and say, okay, I'm gonna rest for a moment and I'm gonna collect myself, because this is the stuff that affects our sleep. More people have heart attacks in their sleep and die than anything else because they don't do the reflective work, the inner work before they go to sleep. So, and when you're feeling the anger, you want to release it as quick as you can because it settles in the organs and it brings in the carbon dioxide and the acidosis at higher levels. And we wonder why the sickness and disease keeps showing up. And the doctor want to give you 10, 20 medications at one time. And then the bottles in your body, and then it makes something else sick. Yeah. Something else break down. You know what I mean? And now you are obligated, so to speak, to go and say, can the doctor be my God? I'm not saying the doctors don't have something good because they have saved plenty of lives. Yeah. I'm just simply saying we're in a place now where our ancestors never had to run to a doctor. Yeah. My email this morning was about taking tea time, creating that space with your tea time. And one of the teas I introduced to a group just recently was mullein and stingy nettles. Yeah. Right there. OMG. Yep. If you make it the right consistency and you really steep it properly, you can feel it going down and soothing you. And I'm telling you, you ain't thinking about nothing but that good soothing feel. Okay, I live to feel good. I've been like this since a little girl. I love to laugh and feel good because I didn't cry enough for a river to flow. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I agree.
And also, mullein leaf is great for like during this time when the seasons have just changed. It's actually a mucus reducer. So it liquefies the mucus and allows your body to excrete it through defecation or urination. Mm-hmm. So mullein leaf tea, get you some.
You know your business. You know how to handle your business. That's right. That's right. And they have so many different properties. It's like literally. Yep. I know we got coffee drinkers, but when you take time to drink tea, I'm telling you, you create that space. So let me get started because I'll go on about the teas. I'm going to be some tea when I get off.
Have some catnip for that.
Teapot now. I went with an electric teapot. So I can put the mint leaves because I love peppermint. Peppermint makes you feel so alive in the morning. Yeah, I mean, it gets you going. You're like, I'm high with this peppermint. Now I can do anything. I can get on this treadmill.
I got 5 miles in me today. Let's go, boy. Come on.
I love some.
Turn up now.
Peppermint, yes. If you're feeling down, get some mint tea. Woo. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If you feel good, get some mint tea.
Jean, while she doing this breath work, you better be thinking about your song.
Oh, I got it. I was gonna tell you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is how you do it. I'm going to breathe in. And when you're breathing into your diaphragm. So you're breathing in and to be completely open, you're supposed to be expanding your diaphragm because it has to go in to get down to the bottom, right? Now I teach this in my classes. I'm giving you a tip I don't always give. So you know this is a special occasion, okay? And I really want people to really connect with my breath course because I know it would change their lives. And I've discounted just because I know it's time to say, you know what? No more excuses. No more excuses for my mental health and well-being.
Yeah.
So, and when you're breathing and you're expanding your diaphragm, it takes time to learn this. But then when you're exhaling, you're pulling it in, but you're going like this. You're going, So I'm going to do it 2 times. Breathe in. Open your mouth and go, ah. And the key is to exhale as long as you can. You're not forcing yourself. You're creating the dynamics of taking your time and being patient with the process. So here we go. We're going to do a couple of them. Breathe in. Open your mouth and exhale. Come back. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Ah. Breathe in. Exhale. Ah. Breathe in. Exhale. Now, this time, I want you to get something on your mind that has pissed you off. You was like, I need to just go in on somebody or something. You know what I mean? I want you to put that on your mind, and I want you to release it in that exhale. So here we go. Breathe in. Release. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhale. Come on, breathe in some more peace. Breathe in and let it go. Just give thanks for a moment. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One, for He has given life to us. And now you can say, even in your weakness, I am strong. Even in looking at your finances, say, oops, I am still rich. Because we're living in miracle times. If you can believe, if you can write it down, receive it, believe it, see it, meditate on it. He said, meditate day and night.
Yes.
You can have good success in any area of your thinking, feeling, being, living, doing, and even not doing. Just because you believe, that's the movement. Just because you could see it, that's the movement. Because you meditate on it, that's the movement. So, all right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I hope you guys really took that in. And I hope that people really listen to this again, because I'm going to listen. I didn't get to see the last one. So I'm going to start with the last one and come back to this one.
You're going to be blessed.
Give out the best to everyone. You know what I mean? I do one-on-one coaching, but I'm very selective in who I choose, because I want to make sure that you're ready to go all the way in and let some of that old junk that don't serve your life, your health, your wealth, go and begin to smile. Sometimes you can just sit and just smile. Your whole countenance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else, but you smile at yourself saying, girl, I feel so good, man. I feel so good. Even though it hurts, I smile.
Right. Yes. Yes. I love the idea.
I be dancing around. Oh, I smile.
That's a smile dance. Yeah, LaRonna, the breathing like that actually relaxes you. So if you catch yourself yawning, that's because you actually allowed your lungs to expand from the top to bottom and then deflate. So, and that actually provides the brain more oxygen, which creates those neural synapses we talked about, which helps you focus and have a better quality of life. And actually, the breathing that you were doing is actually quite similar to in pranayama, the lion's breath. Only difference is you stick out your tongue doing the lion's breath. So it's the same deep inhale, then you stick out your tongue in. Same concept. I love it.
I love the
so many different rhythms to learn.
Yeah. I
so
love the modalities. Yeah.
Sorry, Jean, go ahead.
No, I just said so many different modalities of breathing.
I like the fact that you said think of something that really pissed you off, because that it's like, get out of here.
It ain't always sometimes you gotta be like that and go outside the room and go, you feel like a lion, right? But you have to go. It's getting out of the body, out of the mind. And you get the opportunity to think about how you choose. Now you got choices how to respond.
Yeah. That's good. We're almost at the end of the show. Come on, Gene, with your song. Eliza, get ready with yours. We're going out of here singing with y'all singing.
Oh, you not gonna sing too? You gonna sing background? Sing in the background.
No, I'm a listen.
Steve right now, right? I understand.
I did the breathing.
Like, listen, I did something. Leave me alone.
Ooh.
All right, there we go. All right, so this is one of my favorite songs by Eric Benet, and you'll know why this song is very important. It's called "When You Think of Me." So, hello, baby, how you been? It's nice to see your face again. Strange to see you coming around when you're the one who put me down. We were such a happy pair, but then another man was there. Forgive me, I don't understand just what you want from me. As you can see, my life's been good. I moved the family out the neighborhood. And all my dreams I realized. To think you said it was a waste of time. It's never hard to make new friends when you're making Benjamins. Now did I hear you say again, you're still thinking of me?
Go ahead.
I feel like dying. Do you break down crying? Do you fall down on your knees? Don't it go on living? Does your world start spinning when you think of me? I'm gonna stop there. It's your turn.
I love it. I love it. Because we need to sing more love songs. You know what I mean? We need to sing more love songs. Yeah. I love Stevie for that very reason. Yeah, the need of love. And I thought about that song when you were singing, you know. Yeah. I thought about some other things too. I thought about some Stephanie Mills. He's always, I mean, I thought
that was beautiful. Thank you.
It was beautiful. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Especially when it's raw and it's in your heart and you just feel that. Yeah.
I don't hold fan behind me. Don't worry. Thank you, Lord.
I want you guys to think about that you really are a hero for yourself. You're a hero for others, but it really starts with yourself. Oops, we ain't gonna have that's a 7 o'clock alarm. Excuse me. There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer. If you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you felt will melt away. Hey. And then a hero comes along with that strength to carry on, and you keep casting those fears aside. 'Cause you're learning to survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and breathe strong. You'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Oh, and Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Hey, yeah. So hold on. There will be tomorrow. 'Cause in a time you'll find a way. Hey, and then the hero comes along with that strength to carry on. And you casting those fears aside. Now you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and breathe strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Oh, and Lord knows dreams are hard to follow. And don't let anything, anyone tear them away. Hey, yeah. So keep on holding on. There will be the next moment. 'Cause in a time you found the way. Hey, and then that hero comes along with that strength to carry on, and you keep casting those fears aside. Now you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and breathe strong, and you'll finally see the truth that God is here in you.
Woo! Yes, I love y'all singing.
Thank you. Back at you, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna sing harmony. I was like, wait a minute.
All right, our producer said now we need a duet with
Duet,
the two of them.
yeah.
Great job.
Let's go. Come on. What you got?
Oh gosh.
All right. So he said earlier, he said prayer and thoughts mean little without action. He said my dad talks about that in an arts piece that he created. So prayer and thoughts mean little without action. We have to have action.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have action. Prayer without action is meaningless. It's not helping anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
Faith go ahead.
Without works is dead. That was in Matthew. Faith without works is dead.
Yes. Yes. Gotta have the faith and the works. So we are at the end of our show. This has been wonderful. This has been marvelous. Look back. You can go to YouTube channels, Love Misunderstood Institute. You can also go to Premier Fitness.
0210.
02. Go ahead.
0210. Premier Fitness 0210.
So you can go there. You can also go back to our Facebook pages and look at this again. I always look at the show after the show because I hear more when I look back at it. And go back to last week's. Go back to last week's. It's just phenomenal. So last week and then put this week on top of it, man, you got a cake baked. So listen, we have enjoyed the show, our time together. Thank you for those who have joined. Danica, I saw you on here. LaRonda, thank you for being here. You said you'd be here today. So thank y'all for being here, and prayers that y'all were able to gather some great information and tools to utilize to push you forward in your life. Thank you, Mark, our great producer. We are out now. We send you away with peace. We send you away with love and joy and happiness. So take care. Bye for now. Stay for 1 minute so you can see our exit video. And let me add this real quick. Gene has a CD coming out next month. So he ain't just singing to be singing.
Yeah.
Him and his group is putting out a CD next month. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, LaRonda. I'm glad the information was informative to you. Take care. Bye for now. System. Say that again.
She Whiz in the Solar System. First album is coming out November 11th, 22. It's called Occult. So just look out for that.
Yes. All right. Take care. Bye for now. Thanks again.